Today we are tackling inference questions. Now, inference questions are the most common question type on the reading comp and the hardest. But they won't be for you because when you know two things, inference questions actually get pretty easy, and I'm about to teach you what those two things are. I also have a bonus for you. For now, I'm giving away my GRE bootcamp for free. It's a really intensive course designed to raise your GRE score 10 points in 2 weeks. It covers critical areas of the test, plus gives you hundreds of practice questions and quizzes. Now, all of my courses were developed and battle tested at UCLA, so they've helped hundreds of students ace these tests, and I'm sure it's going to help you too, and it's completely free. Just click on the link below. One of the most important skills you can develop for reading comp is understanding inferences, understanding what you're allowed to assume and what you're not. Now, there are two keys to nailing inference questions. First, read stupid hyper literally. If it's not explicitly written down in black and white, then it's not there at all. Second, any inference or assumption you make must be backed up by specific evidence in the passage. Now, when you get comfortable with those two things, reading comp gets much easier. So let's do a couple exercises to sharpen up those skills for you. Okay, read the bold sentence and then read the answer choices and mark any answer choice, and there may be more than one, that you can infer or assume from the bold sentence. Go ahead, pause the video, hit play when you're done, and we'll go over it. Okay, first sentence. Can we assume that there are fewer sardines this year than last year? No, we can't. We're told that there are fewer sardines in certain parts of the ocean, but we're not given any information about the total sardine population. I know it's super picky and super literal, doesn't even really seem fair, but that's how the test works. Also, after we do a few of these, you're going to get the hang of what you're allowed to assume and what you can't. All right. Can we assume that global warming is harming the environment? No, we can't. We know that global warming is decreasing the sardine population in certain areas of the ocean, but is that harming the environment? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. We're not given any information on that, and we're not allowed to assume. Answer choice 3, you know what? That has the same problem as the previous one. Now, this is more enticing because it's more specific, but at the end of the day, we're still not told anything about how harmful or non-harmful a decrease in the sardine population is for the environment. And we can't assume if we're not told. All right. Do we know that the sardine populations are monitored in several locations in the Pacific? Yes, we do. And the evidence for that is that scientists measured a decrease in the population in certain areas, so the sardine population must be monitored in those areas. All right. Do scientists understand the cause of the decrease in the population of sardines? Yes, we're told explicitly that global warming caused the 10% decrease. I know, at first this might seem a bit arbitrary, but after you do more of these, what you'll see is they're actually pretty good about consistency. It's just a matter of understanding where they draw the line on what you're allowed to infer or assume and what you're not allowed to infer or assume. And as you do more of these, you'll just get better. So let's try another one. All right, this is the same thing. Read the blurb in bold and then mark any answer choice that you're allowed to infer or assume. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you're done, hit play and we'll go over it. Okay, do we know that Nadia's car overheated? Now, they certainly want us to assume that, but we don't know for sure what's wrong with Nadia's car. Maybe it did overheat. Maybe it had a problem with the brakes or the steering or the transmission. We don't know. We're never told, and we can't assume. Do we know if Nadia's car works better in cooler weather? No, we don't. We're not given any information about her car's performance in cooler weather. It might be better or it might be worse. Again, we're not told, so we can't assume. Do we know if the temperature rarely reaches 117 degrees? Yes, we do. And the reason we know that is because it's described as record-breaking heat. So apparently this is the first time it's happened. Do we know that Nadia arrived to her destination later than she anticipated? No, we don't. We have no idea what time she anticipated arriving at her destination, and we have no idea what time she actually arrived. We would have to be given both of those pieces of information for this answer choice to work. All right, does Nadia know how to drive? Well, it turns out we actually are allowed to infer this. Our evidence is that she's actually driving. Now, we have no idea how good or bad she is at driving, but on the test, if you're doing something, then you know how to do it. Okay, so now these last two examples that we just did, they were exercises. Let's try a question that you might actually see on the test. Go ahead and read the passage and then read the answer choices and mark any answer choice that you can infer from the passage. And again, there might be more than one answer. Pause the video and after you're done, hit play and we'll go over it. Okay, can we infer the deaths of Asante women of childbearing age were lamented more than the deaths of other women? We can't. And here's the thing, comparison answer choices are almost always wrong, and here's why. Because for this to be right, we would have to know exactly how much the deaths of childbearing women were lamented and exactly how much the deaths of other women were lamented so we could compare the two. They almost never give you enough data or enough information to make a comparison. Answer choice 2 has the very same problem as the previous answer choice. It's a comparison. While we're given some evidence that older women were courageous, we have zero information on how courageous younger women are. Maybe they're more courageous, maybe they're less courageous. We don't know, but we have to have both pieces of information in order to make a comparison. Okay, do we know if some nurses or providers of supplies died in battle? Yes, we do. We're told older women worked as nurses or providers of supplies, and we're also told that sometimes they sacrificed their lives. That is very strong specific evidence to support that answer choice. Okay, were older women accorded special status above other women and men? No, we don't know that. We're never told, and we would need to be told exactly what that special status was, and they simply never do. All right, do we know if men could be considered or could not be considered potential sources of human life? No. They talk about women of childbearing years being considered sources of human life, but they never say one way or another if men are also considered potential sources of human life. Maybe they are, maybe they're not, but we're never told and we can't assume. Okay, hopefully you're getting the hang of how literally you have to read these things and how strict they are in finding evidence to support the inferences. Now that you know how this works, keep building your skills. The more questions you do, the more intuitive this is going to become. Okay, great job. And remember, it's basically impossible to read these things too literally. Also remember, I'm giving away my GRE bootcamp for free. Just click the link right below in the description. Great work. See you next time.